Don't ever underestimate the heart of a champion.
Legends 34 Sports Podcast with your hosts, K-Rino and Wrekk.
Alrighty, man. Here we go. Legends 34. I think this is episode 15. And we have relocated to the house of Eddie, huh?
The house of Eddie, man. It's all good.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We got some things to catch up on, man.
No question,
man. The NBA, right?
Yeah.
Well, you got the Olympics going on.
Yeah.
Have you been watching any of the games?
Yeah, I caught a couple of the games.
What's your thoughts, man? Besides LeBron,
man, I mean,
taking over.
My biggest thing have been the argument and the debate over the 92 team versus this team. That's what I get caught up in that a lot. And, everybody going to say from this era, they going to say that this team would have beat the 92 team.
No.
And the only because, I'm 92 all day.
Oh, yeah, of course.
But the only argument that I can kind of give the new school is the reality that they are playing against better international competition in this day and time.
True.
The game has advanced to where the guys that Magic and Jordan was beaten by 40 a game, these teams are better. They better. But with that being said, the reason why those teams are better is because of the 92 Dream Team just putting that international game on the map like that when they came and brought basketball to the world like that. But I still think the 92 team, if you took this team out and stuck the 92 team, even with an injured Bird and an older Magic, they still would be beating these teams by 20 easily.
Right.
And I watch the current team. They barely beat South Sudan. They beat them. LeBron hit a game. They barely beat them.
1 point.
Yeah. Now they played them again in the real competition and beat them by 20 because they took them a little more seriously. But they not just so far. They haven't just been dominant like that. So.
And kudos to Sudan, right?
South Sudan.
Luau Deng is taking this team under his wing, organized it, and from what I understand, don't even have an inside practice facility.
He's spending a lot of his own money.
Right.
He's spending a lot of his own money on hotels and all of the necessities that the team needs. So South Sudan just broke away recently, so they didn't have any of the resources, equipment, and all that. Luau Deng, but also. We can't forget the shout out to Coach Ivy, who's one of our assistant coaches with the Rockets.
Yes.
Yeah, he's the head coach. And, so both of those guys and that whole staff, they done a great job, man, because them guys in Sudan, they can shoot.
Yes.
They're a deadly three-point shooting team. They long, athletic.
Can defend.
Yeah. So it was interesting to see a team that I didn't even know existed before the Olympics. I didn't know the guys was even in existence. So, yeah, the competition is better in this day and age, but I'm 92 all day long, man.
Well, the one credit I will give to the current team, that first game against Sudan, right? They barely won in those exhibitions.
Yeah.
It's a whole other story when you got a killer on this team that's coming off the bench now.
Yeah, man.
That's changed the chemistry of the team.
No doubt.
Kevin Durant coming out there. They got problems.
Yeah. Well, he just you can use that same logic going back into the NBA season back in 2017-18 when he first joined them, and that was the X factor when they played the Rockets.
Right.
It's like you take him off that team, we might have beat that team that year. We might have beat them 4-1, 4-2. But Durant is the difference. And the same when you put them in the finals against Cleveland. It's a big difference. That's what got them over the hump against LeBron. So yeah, he's a difference maker to the highest level, man.
Right.
So yeah, it's gonna be hard to beat them. And like you say, he's coming off the bench. And the game, Jason Tatum didn't even get in.
Right.
Which that's nonsense, man. They making all these excuses about we got to try to find time for this guy. Man, in a 40-minute game. It's not 48 like the NBA, but in a 40-minute game, you can find a way to play one of the top 10 players in the league.
Right.
So that was just Kerr dropped the ball on that, and then they try to come clean it up later on, man. Everybody should get in every game. It shouldn't be no reason why a guy don't play. If you got the best in the world, we head and shoulders above everybody supposedly, but we got to make sure this guy plays or that guy, he don't fit. How one of the best players in the league can't find a place to be on that court?
Right.
That's just a bad move.
Well, back to the 92 team, since we have a camera rolling, I'll definitely go on record and say I think the 92 team is probably one of the greatest teams ever assembled in sports, period.
It got to be the best.
And people think Jordan, Magic, dude, the defense.
Yeah.
You had two Dobermans on the Jordan and Pippen out there. I mean, there was time they couldn't even get the ball across half court, remember?
Right. And that's why I say they were still dominated today because of the defensive side. Because when you talk about Jordan and Pippen on the perimeter, don't forget about Clyde Drexler on out there to add athleticism on the perimeter as well. Don't forget about a guy like John Stockton, who the all-time leader in steals in NBA history. That's a smart defensive player. And don't forget about the back line where you got David Robinson and Patrick Ewing back there, where there's no bigs that would be, in my opinion, comparable to them. Now, you can say Barkley and Malone in their most athletic points. So all that to the side about the competition. I mention that because it's a valid point, but at the end of the day, they still would be beating these teams by 15, 20 points minimum. Right. You know what I'm saying? Straight up. You got shooting, you got Mullen, you got Bird, you got Stockton, and it would have been much. They probably would have dominated more just because of the size and the physicality. Between Barkley, Malone, Patrick Ewing, and David Robinson, that alone, they'd have just banged up. They'd have owned the boards. Outlet pass, Magic. Come on, man. Come on, bro. Nah.
I missed those games in Marv Albert at the half. United States up by 50.
United States 78. Whatever other country is 23. Come on, man.
Yeah, man.
It wouldn't have been much. It would have been much different. Like I say, the players are better now. But
you're right. There's more NBA players in the league from all these other teams.
Exactly.
Right.
Now look. Now this what I peeped also about because I didn't know this until like yesterday or the day. Have you seen Canada's squad?
Yes.
Canada got 10 NBA players.
Yeah,
they have 10.
Dylan, one of them. Our own player.
Bro, I wrote it down. They got Dylan Brooks. They got Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. They got Jamal Murray from the Nuggets. They got Dort. Lou Dort, the guy that was locking James Harden up there. Yeah. You got Powell, the White Powell from Dallas.
Yes.
The other Alexander Walker, who is Shai Gilgeous-Alexander's cousin. You got Trey Lyles. These are all Olenek. They used to play for the. This is the Canada team got 10 NBA players, man.
Wow.
So in my mind, everybody's saying Serbia. They got RJ Barrett. So everybody's picking Serbia, and some people are even giving South Sudan an outside shot. If somehow it's not the United States and Canada,
something wrong.
And I don't know how the groups are set up, but if somehow they don't meet up at some point, man, that would be crazy. Because having 10 guys in the league, and they barely beat Spain. Canada badly beat Spain. They beat Spain by 3, and the dude had a last second heave to tie it up. But so they got to get it together. But it's no excuses. You got 10 guys, bro. The U.S. players better be careful if they run up on Canada straight up.
And they play tomorrow night. These Friday night guys. I think they play tomorrow morning. I believe at 10. I forget who they play, but
and Canada's 3-0. So United States will be looking to go 3-0. And just stay undefeated in their group or whatever.
And it's up noteworthy. The women's team also is also undefeated in running rough shot. 20-point leads. They're dominating.
They'll probably win easier than the men. They rode
without Caitlin Clark. So put your signs away, China. What was it, China? You can't beat us without Caitlin Clark. When they bought it. They bought it to the hype. But one thing I will say. When they played the United States team, that All-Star thing they did, and they smacked the hell out of the United because all the focus was on Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese, rightfully so. But Agumawale, man,
this was my first time watching her when she just combusted in that third quarter and went crazy, because that game wasn't veteran Olympians against young rookies. That team consisted of other all-star veteran WNBA players that was right there with the Olympians. So, and they beat them soundly, like 15, almost 20 points. So, yeah, I mean, it's a lot of those players that probably could have been out there as well representing,
And it's worth mentioning, I guess, because we brought them up on the show, the 3-on-3 squad.
Yeah.
I think they're 0-2.
Yeah, they've been losing?
Jimmer ain't holding it down, man.
I ain't been following the 3-on-3.
The Berry boy.
Yeah.
But I don't think they've won a game yet, but we're keeping tabs on that. But have you been watching any of the other Olympics while we're on the
Man, I'm waiting for track and field to get going.
Simone Biles.
I saw the Simone, and they brought
all-time now decorated gymnast of all time.
Right. I check a little bit out, but I'm a track and field guy, so I'm waiting to see what Sha'Carri Richardson and all them gonna do.
Something else, man.
Yeah. I rock with Sha'Carri heavy, man. So I'm hoping that she give a good showing. But at the same time, I got love for Jamaica. At the same time, I love the Jamaican team, man. I saw a picture of Usain Bolt, man. He was all fat and stuff, man. I couldn't believe it. I said, man, this got to be Photoshop, bro.
AI, man.
They showed Usain like a split screen. He was holding up the shirt with the six-pack that they showed him today on the beach. I said, well,
that's over.
I guess that's what retirement is, man. Yeah, because my bar was kind of, he was a little pudgy there, man. It looked like I could outrun Usain Bolt right now. Yeah.
Yeah, but I think the medal count right now, I think the USA's up. We got a 10-medal lead or something like that. Yeah. So they're looking good, man. Yeah. And France is representing them. The opening ceremony was pretty eventful. LeBron, I don't know if you watched it.
I heard about
the ambassador.
I wasn't really paying attention to that party.
We finishing up on the NBA here. I don't know if you watched any of the Mario Elie and Willie D interview.
I caught a couple of clips. I haven't seen the whole interview.
He's talking about defending the Rockets, the 94, 95 Rockets.
I saw that. I saw that clip.
An enjoyment to hear that, right? More confirmation,
Man, look, first of all, you know how we feel, and people gonna say that we homers and all that, but I'm an unapologetic homer. I don't care what's going on. But yeah, I mean, they laid it out perfectly. Like even what Ellie was saying, the team that beat Michael Jordan is a team that the Rockets swept.
Right.
So. Now, don't get me wrong. I know enough about basketball to know that matchups are everything. It could be a team that you could beat real easily that would, and another team would give you problems that they couldn't beat. So, I mean, I understand matchups, how it goes and all that, but like people like to say Mike wasn't there and all that. I read a comment the other week where somebody was talking about the Rockets championships, and somebody put in the comments and said, 2 of the most bogus championships of all time. Because Mike wasn't there. But Mike was there the second year.
He was, man.
And Ellie made a good point on the Willie D video. He said, because they were saying, well, Mike wasn't the same Mike. He said, they didn't say that when he hit 55 in the Garden.
That's what I always said. He dropped a double nickel in Madison Square Garden. Man, how you overlook that? Convenient
excuse making, man. But you know what? I want to say something real quick while we on the subject of the Rock, because, my old age might kick in and I forget, man. Man, we got to shout out to Gene Peterson.
Back to Maloney. Maloney turns. Eddie at the buzzer. Yeah! Oh, mother! Eddie Johnson! Holy cow, Eddie Johnson does it again! Yes! Unbelievable! Shot one or the other. Chambers looking. Still looking. Out it comes Hornacek. 12 on the clock. Well, start the time clock! They're not even starting the clock! They didn't even start the clock! They haven't even started the clock!
They haven't yet! We were trying to get through to this timekeeper who was seated right in front of us.
They didn't even start the clock! They haven't even started the clock! They haven't yet! They haven't started the clock! Something's got to give here! Can you believe this? They haven't even started the clock! We got it anyway! We got it anyway! Take it in! This ball game is over! Oh my goodness gracious! Yes! How sweet it is! The Rockets win it, and boy, that's one of the dirtiest plays I've ever seen.
Here. Three-pointer, Maxwell, yes! Maxwell for three!
Going underneath, here goes to Sampson, he puts it on. Oh, yeah! We're on our way, baby! We're on our way!
Another free throw shooter, Barry is in the lineup, they throw it in, and foul somebody, foul him. He turned it over, here we go. We're down to 6, down to 5, down to 4, McGrady at the buzzer. Yes!
We got to, man. Gene Peterson, the voice of the Rockets, passed away about a week or so ago.
How sweet it is,
man,
K, man.
And I just got through talking about me being an unapologetic homer. Gene Peterson,
was
bro.
one of the greatest to ever do it, man.
Gene Peterson, see, this is how it was back in the days. The local broadcasters for the sports team, for the NBA teams, they didn't hide that they was pulling for their home team.
Right.
Johnny Most for the Celtics, Gene Peterson, Chick Hearn for the Lakers. They didn't make no bones about it. So you would hear this dude calling the Rockets game, and if the ref make a bad call, he just, this dude is terrible. He just
you remember that time he cussed? He said, "This is bullshit."
Yeah,
and he had to apologize.
But I loved it because
man.
I don't. And I'm gonna say this because this is what always bothers me. The modern day. I'm just gonna be on. I'm not the biggest Craig Ackerman fan. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm just not. I got my reasons why, but they try to stay too neutral when you calling teams for the home team. No. I don't care if the referee make a bad call and it worked in our favor. Good.
Right.
I'm a homer, bro. So Gene Peterson and Jim Foley, they did TV, and then Gene Peterson kind of went straight radio. That's when Bill Royale and them kind of came in and started doing TV. But man, those dudes was Rockets, bro.
Yeah, man. It was a
Rockets.
great time.
Yeah, straight up, man. And they I want my local announcers to be fans of the team, not just a job and I'm coming in to work this job. Nah, I want you to be a fan of our team, so whatever go down, we don't feel bad or nothing about the other team. We don't care how you feel. You lost. Oh, well, the ref he missed the call. Oh, well. Because when we go on the road, the same thing could happen to us. So shout out to Gene Peterson, man. How sweet it is.
I'll one-up you, man. I am going to go edit the intro and outro, and we're going to put Gene in there,
No
man.
question.
We got to, man.
Yeah.
We should have done it already.
Yeah.
Before
It's all
he passed.
good. Yeah. You know.
So, man, that's a good point, man. We're going to do that. How sweet it is, man.
Yeah. We just never know, because Gene was up there, but we didn't know that he was that close to it or whatever, you know what I'm saying? It just happened. So, but at the end of the day, it'll never be another one,
Right.
It'll never be another one, like I say, other than Murph. Because Murph is another that's unapologetic homie. Yeah, Bill Royale definitely hold it down, but Murphy is another one who, he don't make no secrets that Rockets. So, I don't like that old straight down. You be straight down the middle when you work for the big networks, when you can't be biased, when you're being paid to not express who you put in for. When you work for the local team, you pull for the local team, bro.
Those are great memories. Gene and Jim on the horn, and then you got Bill and Calvin on the TV broadcast.
Man,
what a great time it was, and we were winning championships.
No doubt, no question,
man. That's covered all the way around, huh?
Yeah, man, yeah,
and not only that, I mean, I can't say it sucked, but it was such a different contrast when they ended up leaving, and then what was it? Cynthia Cooper got on there. What was it? Clyde.
Well, it was a transition because
Bullard came.
Guys start retiring. Gene and Jim retired, so you got to try to fill that void in a certain situation. It's just like the team itself. Like once you see the Clydes and the Keems start to fade out and they eventually gone, now you bringing in new guys and the team just goes through a transit. It's the same on different levels with the broadcasting as well. You got to find that voice. Now Bill was still there for a while, but in Bullard and Clyde and all of them come in. But yeah, man, it's you got to find that voice, man, that can really be the voice of the generation, the current generation. Like now, the Harden years, which was like we had hope that we was right there.
Right.
You know, to me, there's no voices that's associated with that in terms of the broadcasting side of it. It's like we just watched as fans, but you know, with no classic calls. And go back to when Ralph Sampson hit the shot on the Lakers in '86 to put the Rocks in the final. And get Gene Peterson's
losing his mind.
Yeah, right. Harden going. That's a fan, bro.
Yeah,
that's a fan that just happens to work as a broadcaster for the team. That's how it's supposed. Johnny Most, when if something happened with the Celtics, I just remember when he was talking about the Pistons. He was like, "It's just a disgusting display. These guys out here." So I mean, that's how I want my broadcast.
Right, man.
I'll keep that old neutral stuff.
What was his name? Red with the Bulls.
Yeah, Johnny Red Kerr. You know, the same thing, man. Yeah. You know,
Superman's in the building.
Yeah, these are fans, bro.
Yeah, man.
Keep that old neutral stuff, bro.
And one more noteworthy. We still talking about the NBA and basketball. I seen this meme, and I definitely wanted to bring it up on the show. It's interesting.
Yeah.
Anthony Davis is the first ever to win an NCAA championship, a FIBA medal, Olympic medal, and an NBA title.
Wow.
That's pretty special, man.
Nah, it is. That's a lot of basketball. That's a lot of winning.
Pretty decorated.
Makes me. I wonder if he won in high school. That's a good.
Right.
Check that out. Yeah, but, I mean, that's pretty decorated. As
he's
you
up
said.
there with Bill Russell and hell, Ginobili too is a very decorated player, right?
Well, you know that he was. He would have been first ballot Hall just off of his NBA career.
Right. So
all those accolades just kind of just guarantee that he automatic first ballot with the injuries.
Right.
Imagine if he wouldn't get hurt all the time. But yeah, I mean, great player. You know, and the international game seemed to fit perfect with the international game, almost more so than the NBA game. But it helps that you got all those great players around you, where the focus ain't just 100% on you. So yeah.
Awesome, man. Well, I guess we'll switch gears to the NFL.
Yeah.
I don't know if you watched the game much last night.
I watched the first half.
We was gonna do it last night, but hey, we're gonna watch the Hall of Fame game.
Yeah. I got mad because
they didn't play nobody.
Yeah. I was sitting up ready, and I saw CJ had on a T-shirt. I was like, nah. And then
Caleb Williams
he
had
didn't
on
play. Right. So yeah, and I get it. I mean, you know, it's just the first one, and they'll get some action, but I did want to kind of see those guys. But I got a chance to see a lot of other guys that because we mentioned Enrique Agumawale, that in the WNBA, her brother plays for the Texans, which is I
did not know that.
Yeah, they brother. You know,
I know the same name.
Yeah, right.
And are they from Texas?
Well, I mean,
and her. I'm sorry to interrupt.
Yeah, go ahead.
And then she has another sister that played or is commentating on ESPN, or that's
no. You're thinking about Shanae Agumake. Yeah,
okay,
and
sorry.
Yeah,
yes.
there's two different siblings. But Agumawale, the running back for the Texans, yeah, his sister is Enrique that plays, WNBA, and so that's a pretty successful family that they saved the family with that one.
Right.
But if you remember last year, Dare, which is the running back for the Texans, remember something happened. He played kicker one of them games last year, and he actually made a field goal in one of the games that the Texans played last year. But he would, man, when he got his opportunity to run, oh man, and last night he looked good.
He sure did.
But the guy that they brought in from the Rams, Cam Akers, looked good.
Coming off an Achilles, or I forget, some type of injury, injury.
Yeah, and he was 25. So when I saw him, man, I was like, oh, that's nice. And we ain't even had to play thought about Joe Mixon yet. So the core of running backs is looking real good so far. You know what I'm saying? Even though it just won the preseason game, but just the names that they have, I really think that this core, and that's going to help Joe Mixon, that these guys, other guys are in there. And I ain't even mentioned Damian Pierce. So they got a good running back core that they should all be able to take a lot of the load, kind of like the receivers, take a lot of load off each other, man.
And, of course, the man of the hour was Andre Johnson.
Yeah, man.
He is the first Texan to be introduced in Canton, the Hall of Fame. And I couldn't think of a more important or an ambassador, if you will, of the Houston Texans organization. To go into the Hall of Fame first.
No doubt about it, man. He was the guy that mainstay, that consistent guy, man. That was great every year that he was with the Texans. We can't even say that about JJ and other guys that have been signature Texans like that, because JJ had a lot of injury years and all that. Andre was great every year without ever having the benefit of playing with a really great quarterback. You know what I'm saying? Schaub was probably the best quarterback he ever played for. And Schaub is a guy that he won't even be in the Hall of Fame. So if you look at, because I made sure to mark this, a guy who didn't have a top quarterback in his whole career, but still had over 1,000 receptions, still had over 14,000 receiving yards, 70 touchdowns, and in my eyes working with scraps.
Right.
You know, 7-time Pro Bowler, led the league in receptions twice, led the league in yardage twice. This dude didn't really have much to work with, man, and still now he putting on the jacket.
And who was his coach too?
Yeah, he had, you know, Kubiak and guys like that. Kubiak kind of cleaned his legacy up toward the end when he got the Super Bowl.
Don't say his name. Thank you, K. We don't need to say his name.
Which one? Which one?
B.O.B.
Oh, I ain't worried about that dude. No. See, Andre
but
best
it's worth
years
noteworthy. That guy was his coach, and he was still successful, man. I mean,
right. But he was more on the back. Andre really great years was before that guy got there. But but I don't even think about him.
Right.
But at the end of the day, you know, Andre, his numbers tell the story, man. Like I say, just to not have, if you could think of every great receiver, you go with Jerry Rice, you know who his quarterback was. You know who with Joe Montana, you know Michael Irvin had Troy Aikman. And all these great receivers, even Randy Moss maybe didn't have a lot of great quarterbacks either, but he played with Tom Brady for a year or two. So Andre could never say he played with a Hall of Fame quarterback, but he still made it to the Hall of Fame as a receiver, a job, a position that's so dependent on who's throwing you the ball. That showed how cold that dude was, man. So how cold he was.
And something else of noteworthy about his career, or who he was, again, being an ambassador. Yeah, it's cool and all when you flash the name up there and you show the clip of him beating the brakes off Courtney.
Yeah, right.
But I believe that overshadows him down at the Toys R Us.
Yeah.
Buying the store up
Yeah.
for these needy children on Christmas every year, right?
Right.
That was amazing, man. It was like, that's what pulled our heartstrings here in Houston, man.
He come off as a good, humble, quiet dude. That's all it is. You know, he comes off as a guy who doesn't try to make himself a no reputation and all this different stuff. He just like, I'm just here to do my job. I'm gonna do my job and give, and not trying to be seen when he does his community work. If they see it, they see it. If they don't, they don't. So, hey, man, well deserved. And I heard that in the class that he's in this year, he's going to be the one to close it out. He's going to be the last one. So, you know, normally the last person who gives the speech is reserved for the biggest name.
Right.
So for him, you know, because you got Julius Peppers in this thing, you got Patrick Willis, you got a lot of guys that's, you know, pretty strong players that deserve to be there as well. So, you know, man, shout out to Andre, man, straight up. I wish my biggest Texans wish, other than them winning the Super Bowl, is that Andre and CJ could have played together. Lord have mercy, man. If I ever talk to Andre Dunn, I'm just like, man, don't you wish you would have played with CJ Stroud, bro? That'd have been deadly.
No, I couldn't agree more, man. But it is what it is. And, well, we're still talking about football. Fantasy football is approaching. I don't know if you well know. I run 2 leagues.
Yeah.
Commissioner, 2 16-team leagues. I'm champion twice. My whole family's involved. Yeah. And time's approaching. Whoever probably watches the show is probably part of the fantasy league as well. A lot of people are gearing up for the fantasy season. You've never played?
No, I don't know nothing about it.
Any inclinations of ever playing?
Clue? Nope. I don't know nothing about fantasy football except how to spell it.
Well,
that's it.
Well, I can make my pitch to you here on the show, right? I've pitched to a lot of people such as yourself.
Yeah.
This is the place where you finally can cash in your chips, so to speak.
Yeah.
Of having all this useless statistics and data that you read the box score all your life and
right.
which is part of this show, right?
Right.
Fantasy is the place you get to cash that in.
You have to get to use it.
You know the team's offenses, their defenses, their rosters, their strategies, this and that. And that what makes you successful in fantasy, let alone fantasy football. But I extend an invitation to you this year.
Man, I don't know, dude. That sounds like too much work for me, man. I wouldn't have time to commit to all that.
Yeah, but everybody's excited this year, and we're hoping to get it kicked off. The draft is 1 day before the regular season starts.
Let me ask you a question. So what's the most fun part of that? Cause is it the draft? Is that like the most exciting process of the fantasy thing? Is when you putting your team together, or just once everything get going?
There are so many stories to tell you, and I love to. Let me tell you just one. 2 years ago, again, my whole family's in it,
right?
And my daughter Tiffany was in it,
yeah.
And she went 3-10 or 3-11, something like that year. And the way I run my league, which is another story.
Yeah.
If I have 16 teams, you pay your $50. Everybody gets a shot at the title. So, which I have another story to that. Why that is. Yeah. So here she is, 3-11. You still get a shot at the title, which is even more of an example why I allow this, right? Or we do this in the league.
Right.
She was 3-11, but she's still in because everybody gets a shot at it. She wins the first round,
right?
Upset. She wins the second round as an upset. Yeah. She gets to the third round, 1 win away from the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
She has to play me.
Yeah.
This gets better. I'm up by like 30 points.
Yeah.
40 points. All my players have already played. I can't score no more.
Right.
She's due up for I believe this was the Sunday night game or Monday night game. I'm sure you could correct me on this. She had about 30 or 40 points to go. She still had players to play. It was the Buffalo game. Damar Hamlin.
When he got injured.
Yeah, he dies on the field.
Right.
At this point in the game, you imagine the emotional gauntlet I'm in.
Right.
She's going to beat me. I know she is, as long as the game continues.
Right. But
the game stops. So I'm tripping like, what's going to happen here? I'm concerned about this dude dying. Everybody's, they can continue the game. What happens?
Right.
Well, as you will know, they cancel that game. Yeah. And by default, I get into the Super Bowl, which I end up winning 2 years ago. But what an amazing story, man, based on somebody dying on the field and being resurrected like Jesus.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And they cancel the game, and it causes these ramifications throughout the fantasy league, let alone the other people that got into the Super Bowl by default because their opponent couldn't play their players, right? That's just one story. I have another story where I had a gentleman 4 years ago. He drafts on draft night, and he gets locked up.
Oh, man. Come on.
That team, again, goes all the way to 1 game away from the Super Bowl. Yeah. Again, coincidentally, against me.
Yeah.
But it goes to show you, if you know what you're doing on draft night, you got a good roster, you can win, man, if you know what you're doing, man. I'm saying. And again, everybody gets a shot at the title.
So that means
no one gets eliminated.
So it's a playoff. Did I have like a playoff? So,
yes.
So everybody gets in.
Correct.
Okay, got you. That's cool. Yeah, man. Well, you know,
it's a lot of fans. It's a lot of fun. Let alone it's family oriented, and boy, people talking smack, and that's.
I got a few homies that mess with. I just know. It wouldn't be something that I would. I don't knock it. I look at, like I say, people. I got homies that make bread off doing it. You know what I'm saying?
Right. A lot of people make big bread. They play in multiple leagues. They play online. They're really serious about it.
It's like a real.
The guy that taught me, he was a big time professional fantasy league player. But we're about to saddle up, man. I hope whoever's watching, I know y'all excited. It's just around the corner.
Yeah.
So we're gonna switch gears to baseball, the MLB, right? The Astros are now still in first. They're hanging on.
Yeah, by a grain.
And they have made a considerable trade to get 2 arms into the bullpen. I believe a starter, and I think the other guy from the Yankees is a mid-relief.
Yeah.
The controversy is that they let go of too much talent.
Yeah.
One of those players was Loperfido. I think that's how you pronounce his name.
Mm-hmm.
Which, when he was in the minors, he was tearing the cover off the ball.
Right.
But he came into the majors batting, I looked this up, 236. I think he had 2 homers.
Yeah.
Held it down in the outfield. I think he played middle, left, and right field for some. Who's to know how he would have developed the next few years, right? But as you always say, you got to have pitching, man. You want to make this run right now, and you're trying to get Verlander back, and you're trying to get Luis Gonzalez back. We don't know if McCullers is coming back. You got to pull a move, and they did. And let's see if it.
The guy that they brought in, Kikuchi, I saw him pitch his first game. He struck out 10. Yeah, struck out 10. First inning, they popped him. Double home run right off the bat, 2-0. So I'm like, oh man.
Boy.
He settled down, ended up going like 7 innings, struck out 10 before they pulled him, and he left to a tie game. That dude can pitch.
Right.
So you incorporate him in with what you already have with Fromba and with Blanco, and like I said, Verlander.
Who? Benny Blanco. You remember Benny Blanco from the Bronx?
That's the key, bro. That's going to be the key to them. Pitching is the staple in baseball. Hitting is not going to ever be an issue for the Astros with the lineup that they have. Even with Tucker out, they'll be able to hit. So I get it, because Loperfido is a guy, in my opinion, that I think is going to be a really, really good player, potential all-star caliber player. He got off to the slow start, but so did Alex Bregman when they first brought him. I remember when they brought Bregman up, he couldn't get a hit to save humanity. So this guy, I think, would have been great, but you got to go for some pitching. You got to. So I hated to see Loperfido go, because I think he's going to go somewhere and be a star, but I like what I saw from Kikuchi. Pop that coochie. I like what I saw from him.
Cue the 2 Luther, man.
Yeah, man. I like what I saw from him, man. So, if they can establish, I think throughout the rest of the season, they're going to want to try to have that tight 6-man rotation. But, of course, they're going to bust that down to 4 come playoff time if they're able to hang on and get in. And the way he's looking, he could absolutely be one of the 4. And if he's not, they're just going to make the bullpen, because it don't look like Garcia's coming back. He was on the same kind of path as Verlander as far as rehabbing and getting close, but now Verlander is pitching off the mound and getting ready to go on assignment to the minors. He's coming back. Garcia, it ain't looking too good, so got to have another arm.
And I think they've done that. I think they've done enough.
Yeah.
I mean, and on paper.
Yeah. Now, what needs to happen? The closer that they brought in this year, this dude, he settled down a little bit over the last few weeks, but man, this dude he not happy till he give up a home run every time he come out. Even if he gets to save, he scares the hell out of you, because he done gave up a home run and let it get close. He popping out warning track pop outs. It's like, dude, so I mean, you still got Presley, you still got him, you still got Abreu, which to me that's their 3 best relievers. But they're gonna have to come on with it, man.
Yeah, man, and it's also a bonus in the American League, right, where the Astros are now at, right?
The division that they
got to have pitching, man.
Yeah, in the Astros, this year it's a weak division. So I looked at the division and saw where Astros got like 55, 56 wins, and the team up on them, Seattle, got like 55. They right a half game. But the other team, like the Yankees, they had 65, close to 70 wins. So we're in a weak division. So this is the time to take advantage of that and go and win that division, get back in. And once you're in baseball, you got a shot. You got a shot. Yeah.
And also of noteworthy, it also came across the news break. Mike Trout out again for the season. Another meniscus tear in his knee.
Yeah.
You hate to see that, man. I mean, this guy is already in the Hall of Fame. Yeah. And
he has missed
Ken Griffey Jr. maybe just kind of.
Yeah, he's missed a couple of seasons worth of games in the last few years, man. And like I said, it's messed up because he is a great player, but can't stay healthy, man. He can't stay healthy.
And that's the Angels, huh? I mean, kind of sort of in retrospect, if he stays healthy, does Ohtani stay there? Does he not jump ship to go to the Dodgers?
It would depend on how it affected the winning. It's like Ohtani was a dude. He's like, man, I want to win. I ain't come way over here to be losing, and so that's why he went to the Dodgers and basically went to the Dodgers and didn't have to move. Because the Angels that's still LA. So at the end of the day, yeah, he wanted to win, but if Trout was able to stay healthy, then yeah, who knows? But they would have needed more than just those two, because I just feel like a day would have come where if Ohtani stays with the Angels, they're gonna wear him out because he's pitching and hitting. At some point, I believe he may have to let one side of it go. But I could be wrong.
I don't know if he's pitching this year.
Yeah, but he had an injury that kind of took the pitching away. But I know at his age, whenever he's able to come back and pitch, he gonna pitch. But I just couldn't imagine him doing that his whole career unless he's just an anomaly like that. Right. Which could be possible. But nobody want to. Man, if you're a real competitor, it don't matter how much money you making. I don't want to just be losing my whole career. And baseball is the kind of sport, it's not like basketball or football where in the NBA, half the teams in the league make the playoffs. So in the NFL, you got 6 on one side, 6 on the other side that's making the playoff. If you got a guy like Ohtani in baseball, they just added the wild card in recent years. So you don't get in all the time, even if you may have a good record and miss. You done played 10, 12 years and never even been in the playoffs in baseball. I got to go win, bro.
I think we pretty much covered the main sports, unless you had something.
I did want to talk about one more thing, man.
I got one more thing to talk about, the thing that's all over sport and news. Maybe it's the same thing.
We might be on the same page, and that's the
boxing?
The boxing, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And which I want to say, I don't think we've covered anything trans in sports on the show yet. And that, I would admit, has been by design. But this particular news story, I try to read as much as on it I can, because I believe the way it was first presented is not entirely accurate. Maybe you can check me on this.
Right.
That this individual, they're saying trans, is not necessarily trans. They were born with both chromosomes at birth.
Right.
Something along those lines, right? But still the fact remains, biologically, chemically, bone density, fibers in your muscle density, your organs, your skin, your brain, these are two separate individuals you're putting in a boxing ring, right? And even though the lady took a knee and said it's the hardest she ever been punched, and she was crying, I hear that she even said that she wishes her opponent luck going into the future, blah, blah, blah. But I think it's a bad look for the Olympics, man. And I don't understand why they don't see that. And this, again, I express my opinions here. I believe this is a bad look. Even though, from what I understand, she didn't, sorry for getting the pronouns wrong. This just didn't happen overnight. This person has been fighting through many rejections by different organizations to even box, right? So here they have the stage in the Olympics to box, and now this has transpired. Yeah. I'd love to know your thoughts on this.
Well, this to me is a perfect example of the true reality of how a person can't help the way that they was born. This is where I totally agree with that, because if she was born with the X and the Y, and if that's a fact, then that's something that she had no control over. Now, if that if those levels of testosterone give her more power and more, force, then the committee has to come up with some kind of solution to figure out how she can be incorporated into the sport, because if she, which I read, she has never, ever, ever claimed to be anything but a woman. She is a female. She's identified herself as, she's never stepped outside of that. So if you take that and say, well, no, she can't because of whatever, I'm not going to say it's not a defect, however she was born, then they're going to be walking a thin line if they say, well, you can't fight. Because now people are going to come out, advocate groups are going to come out and say, well, why can't she fight? Why can't she fight? And if she can't fight women, what are they going to say? Should she fight men? Because if she fights men, then it's like you still have a woman, biological woman, fighting men, and she's not going to be a match for the men that she's going to fight.
Correct.
So now she's kind of in limbo, kind of stuck in the middle in that situation, and it's kind of jacked up for everybody because, like you said, the woman from Italy, and I got her name. Her name is Angela.
Yeah, I don't want to forget this.
Yeah.
There's two individuals amidst this controversy.
Yeah.
One from Nigeria,
yeah,
and there's another from China.
Right, one from
I have not read on the individual from China if that's she or she's trans or not. I don't know. Have you read it? I don't know.
I heard about the one from China, but the research I did on let me look at her name. Her name is Imani Khalef from Algeria. She was born a female, bro.
Yeah, that's
so like
my understanding.
So in the backlash that came out against her and the committee was so quick because people don't double and triple check before they just, a trans woman they shouldn't be letting these men fight. And if that is the case, I 100% agree, because there's no way that some dude who used to be Ralph back in the days, should get in the ring and fight a woman. But the attacks that came so swift to this lady before people even had the facts and the information, that wasn't fair. That wasn't fair to her, man. But it's a tough one because they're gonna have to figure out something, or they're gonna either just run her out of the sport, because she is the literal definition of on the fence. She's a tweener in the highest sense of the word. Like, I'm too strong for the women, but I am a woman, so I can't be fighting the men either. So it's messy, man. That's
I guess one of the questions I have is, in this current landscape where people are trying to find identity, if you will, or trying to define identity, male, female, or in between, since we are in this landscape, it's almost experimental to some extent, depending on, especially now you're crossing into athletics. Is it too soon? Are they putting the cart before the... Was the Olympic Committee putting the cart before the horses? Is this too soon to throw these two together in the boxing ring? I guess that's kind of where I'm at. Or should they have maybe, the lady from China, and they fight each other? Again,
well, the Olympics is a tournament, so you kind of got to work your way up through the tournament, like the same way with the basketball team. So you couldn't even just say, well, let's find us someone who's just like her and let her fight. Okay, so those two fight and it's a winner. She's still got to fight another woman moving forward, and that may be something that the other woman like, whoa, I don't want no parts of that. So it's going to be jacked up either way. But the Olympic Committee had already did everything to kind of, I guess, vet her to know who she was. It's okay, well, this is a female. The Olympic Committee didn't try to slip a guy, a trans woman. They didn't try to slip that in and say, we're going to sneak that in. Like we've seen in other sports where the guy was a full-blown dude in track and field and just running past, or the other guy that was a swimmer, you know what I'm saying, and he's out swimming and lapping these women. Like, it wasn't a situation like that. It was like, okay, hey, bro, this is the one. What can we say? She's had some testing issues with the testosterone levels and all that. So my deal is, if if she is not taking any outside supplements or illegal substances that are boosting her levels and all that, then what can you really say or do?
Right.
So it's jacked up, man.
If I could, it's hard to put in words. Again, it's a testing. Trying to get their feel this out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Think about when boxing in its infancy, right? They had to figure out weight classes.
Yeah.
How long did that take them? You got super middleweight, then you got super lightweight, and then that didn't happen overnight.
Yeah.
You had one time. I imagine you had a 160-pound guy fighting a 155-pound guy, right?
200-pound guy.
It took them a time to say, "Hey, there's classifications here." Now, is that equivalent to male, female? Maybe that's not maybe it's a false comparison. But the point I'm making is, even in boxing itself, it took a while to feel out just weight classifications. I don't know. I'd have to look it up. I'd be interested how long it took boxing to have the current classifications they have.
Yeah.
I'm sure it took a while. You know what I'm saying?
Let me see it, because you can go back. You can go back to the times of Joe Louis and all those guys, and they had weight classes even back then. These guys were fighting in the 30s. So Jack Dempsey and all of them, they were heavyweights from way back.
Right.
So in Sugar Ray Robinson and Carmen Basilio and all, they were lighter weight classes. So it's been around. It's been around probably almost 100 years, if not more. But the thing is, I think the issue with this situation is going to be more so of a case of strength and power and impact. Because if you take a guy, just say you take a female heavyweight, that's okay. Like Clarissa Shields I think she fought heavyweight this last fight that she just recently had, and she won. So you take a female heavyweight that she's fighting at about 170, right? And just say Terrence Crawford fights Clarissa Shields, but Crawford carries around 147, 150. And Clarissa's fighting at 174. Who's going to win that fight? Terrence Crawford's going to beat the brakes off of Clarissa Shields because it's just man strength. So I think what they're trying to do is probably lump this lady, Imani Khalef, they're trying to lump her in terms of, like, they may say fighting you as a woman is like fighting a dude. And if they categorize her like that, then, like I say, that puts her in between, because she's going to be like, well, I'm not a dude. They say, but you got that X and that Y. You got that snap, that the average. Because, again, the Angela Carini, she said, I ain't never been hit like that before. I ain't never felt a punch like that before. So this woman been boxing probably all her life, even though she's just coming up into the Olympics. But you don't be in the Olympics and you just start boxing 4 months ago. Right. This woman has been hit. So to take that punch that she took from this lady, and it's like 46 seconds of the match, I'm done. Yeah. It's some, how they say it hit different. Yeah. It literally hit different. So in her mind, she knew that it was something. So if she fights, even if she goes up into professional ranks, which I'm sure she will, it may level out. But if she gets into the professional ranks and she's fighting other women in her weight class, however you lay it out, and the power still seems to be too much, it's going to become a conversation. It's going to be an issue. So we just got to wait it out and see. But my biggest thing was to not, if this boxer was born a female, to not condemn her for just doing what everybody else did. If she's not taking no illegal substances, she's born a female, you couldn't help whatever it was that made her have the X and the Y. Right. Yeah.
But the main thing here goes the Wrekk rant. I've been practicing this the whole week, right? And there's a lot of other things here, and I'm about to go over here. We're about to go in. That's sportsmanship. And I feel in all sports, that is being put on the back burner.
Yeah.
And it's very frustrating, let alone I'm getting older. and you know that the younger people are watching the Olympics or they're watching basketball, and like Marielli said, he couldn't coach. There's too much emotions, man.
Yeah.
Where emotions now have trumped sportsmanship. Case in point, please correct me if I'm wrong. I know you're watching the Olympics, somewhat. You see when the teams lose, they're all crying their eyes out, bawling.
Yeah.
I don't seem to remember this, right? It seems like, where's the sportsmanship? You lost. Go shake the hand of the opponent. Yeah. You lost. Take your L train. You know what I'm saying?
So they did the Detroit Pistons on the Bulls in '91. That's what they did?
Right. Another good example. My daughter played at Hartman basketball. This is 7th grade when she was first eligible. UIL rules, right? I don't know if you know this.
Yeah, no.
They were playing a game. I forgot who it was. Hartman against whoever. Hartman Pirates. And the other team, players had fouled out. But they had no substitutes.
Yeah.
So there's only 4 players that could play against Hartman's 5. Now I'm going to ask you, what do you think happened?
The 4-1.
They continued playing.
No. I was having a flashback from one of my own experiences. I lost to 4 dudes one time in the league. We had our whole team and 4 dudes beat us, so yeah.
What?
That's another story.
So it's a possibility. That's what you're saying.
Absolute possibility.
Well, at that moment, I was livid.
Yeah.
I'm like, what's going on here? And another parent in the stand had explained to me, oh, that's how they play. I'm like, that's how they play? That's not sportsmanship. There's no more game here. This is a joke. Yeah. This is, let alone these are young people. Yeah. You're trying to teach them sport of the game. Yeah. This is no longer sport. This is ridiculous.
So who won the game?
Well, I want to expand on this for a minute because I went home and looked this up. Yeah. It's a UIL rule. Not only is a UIL rule, it's also an NCAA rule. Yeah. Didn't know this. You get down to 3 players and have to play against 5. Or 1, it's a call of the coaches and who's ever playing. Right. If they feel, in your point, they still have a chance to win, they'll allow it to go on. Right? Where's the sportsmanship in that? Again, it feels like that's been pushed to the side for some other agenda here, whatever that is. I don't know, but now you're shedding light that hey, 4 can beat 5.
because it's not as cut and dry as that. It's like, just say when the 5th person on the other team fouls out, when that they only have 5 people and that person fouls out, so now this team only has 4, but the score is tied. And it's 3 minutes and 15 seconds left in the game. The coach of the team with 4 players, in their mind, they're like, well, nah, let's keep playing because we close. We just got to figure out a way to navigate through this because we could possibly still win this game. You know, now 3 would be a little tough, but trust me, 4 can beat 5. I've seen it. I've been on both ends of it. So I think it's more layered than just a rule, you know what I'm saying? Now, if the rule is in place and it's been in place that they can keep playing and it's cool and both coaches all agree, then the rule is the rule. But I've seen times where in this recreation league, y'all, where somebody say, well, you know what? You can start with 4, but if your 5th man is not here by halftime, it's an automatic forfeit, but y'all are allowed to keep playing just so you won't waste your gas from coming out here to play. I've seen those kind of rules, but the other team has already technically won the game. So it just depends. If you looked it up after the fact and found out that, well, yeah, that's the rule, they can play with 4, then that's the rule. You know what I'm saying? That's the rule. And you hope that your team with 5 don't manage to lose, because they're going to be like, oh, man, that's messed up, man. That shouldn't have happened. They should have ended it right there. But don't let 4 people beat you if you got 5. That's the one. There's no way you're supposed to lose. So who won the game?
I don't even remember. I think it was Hartman, it was 9-7. It was those games are so.
And as far as with the just the Olympic thing, man, I know that other sports they gonna cry. You lose in gymnastics, them girls, they gonna cry. I've seen the swimmers cry. I've seen the U.S. men's basketball Olympic team lose or come with bronze and all that. They didn't cry, but they had that little sad puppy dog look on their face like, LeBron them have brought home the bronze and all that. So, at the end of the day,
not even only crying. For instance, in basketball, like, dude make a shot and you're like, he's got the ski goggles, he's popping bottles and flips and bro, we're in the layup line.
Right.
You see that football, man, make a first down, man. It's like they won the Super Bowl. There's so much emotion inside the game. Where's the sportsmanship?
It's a thing called, and to me, it ain't about the sportsmanship. For me, it's about just the composure. It's a thing called act like you've been here before.
Thank you.
You know what I'm saying? So I can't. As an athlete, I wouldn't want my players, like they say, to get too high and get too low. So if my quarterback throws a 12-yard pass on first down in 4 minutes into the first quarter and you get a first down, I don't need you doing a backflip and popping and ticking and doing this here when you got the first down. We got a long way to go because you look stupid. If you did that in the first quarter, then we end up losing by 40. So I get that part. I think it's more of coaching, teaching composure, and teaching guys not to get so high and low. Sportsmanship to me is more so what happens after the game or during the game, where if we down by 15, I ain't gonna kick you in the nuts because I'm losing. Or once I lose, I can walk by, I can shake your hand. I ain't just gonna storm off the court or whatever, you know what I'm saying? So, but
Right. And again, it circles back around to this whole trans thing. That's part of it too, where the emotions are involved and people, like I was talking to a friend earlier, like he got a daughter and she likes wrestling. Yeah. What if there was a trans?
Yeah, he'd be
mad as hell. Like, nah, hell no.
My daughter not even know he's not gonna compete against a guy. Right. That's just not gonna happen. And see, people get so up in arms about that because they get caught up in this modern day push. For
participation trophies. That plays into the emotion of it now.
No doubt about it. But it's more so about people saying about who has the right to do this. I have the right to claim to be this and claim to be that. But what I claim and what reality is can be two different things. So, to your point, I got a 12-year-old daughter that's wrestling on the wrestling team in middle school, and then this guy comes out with his nails done or something and decides he wants to stand. No, that's not going to happen. In our mind, we feel like that's common sense. But the world we live in, common sense ain't common. So, we have to just really be careful in how we move and the sports we put our children in and figure out how we're going to navigate through that, because logic don't seem to be the order of the day no more.
No. But back with, we have a lady football player, right?
Yeah.
What, like the man wrestler or girl, he's trans wrestler, what place is he or she taking from someone else's opportunity just for this political stunt, if you will?
And she's not claiming to be something that she's not. She's clearly like, hey, I'm a girl playing football. And there are no football female leagues that I can play in. So if she loves the game to that extent, okay, if somebody allows her to play, then you have a conversation with the parents. And I would want my daughter playing against no dudes in football. But if the parents say, well, baby girl want to play, we believe in her, we trust her, we think she'll be all right, and she wants to play, then that's different, because she's not coming in, she ain't glued no facial hair on her face and saying, or she's not saying what she's identifying as and all that. No, she just coming in to play, But I'm not gonna have nobody around this bad boy. Like I saw a meme when they was first talking about Imani Khalef, when they was automatically calling her transgender before they knew the details. Somebody put a meme where they put, okay, well, if that's the case, if we're going to do it like that, they put a wig on Mike Tyson, and I'm going to send Mike to the Olympics. So, I mean...
Billy Tyson.
Yeah, you're right. So, I mean, it just... we gotta be more thorough in figuring out what's what before we jump the gun and start talking about it, because now people are retracting their statements and they trying to remix it so they won't be wrong. It's like, nah, dude, find out first. Be slow to speak. Be quick to think first and slow to speak, because this social media, these memes and these art and these quick little posts, oh man, that's messed up. They let a trans woman fight and come to find out that lady is born a female.
Right.
So she's in a tough dilemma because she's trying to just do something she loves, but we gotta stay tuned. It's gonna be interesting how they try to clean that up.
Right, we'll see how this all transpires. If she wins gold, and then I'd say it needs an asterisk to her gold medal, or you know how it goes.
Yeah, no question, man. No question.
But I think that's gonna wrap this about up, man. Unless you had something else.
Nah, man, that's it, man. It's just been well spent. Great info. You know how we do it on Legends 34, man. Y'all know what it is.
I do have some fishing lines out, and one of them is Donald Driver. I have not made content yet, but hopefully things will transpire there. I found a way possibly with Vernon Maxwell. We're working on that. And also Trent Williams.
Okay, well, we'll see what happens, y'all.
With the Niners. He used to play for the Redskins, arguably one of the great. He's the best tackler in the league, right?
Yeah, no, best offensive line.
We'll see how those things transpire, and we enjoy y'all tuning in. Drop a comment, share this, always subscribe. We'll see you next time. Legends 34.
Yeah.
Oh, sweet it is!
The Houston Astros are world champions for the first time in franchise history.
Don't ever underestimate the heart of a champion.